We will call the meeting to order at 5:31. There are a couple of changes to the agenda. We are going to pull item 3C, conference regarding public employee appointment, discussion of superintendent recruitment process. We are going to pull 12H, which is, whoops, wrong one. Hold on. It is 12H, but it is the first reading of BP and AR 6142.7. We need to change a sentence in it before, so that'll come back next month. And then we need to amend 12E. You guys have a new resolution in your board packet. The resolution number should be 2026-19, and it is on the agenda as 2026-16. All right. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
I'll motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. And let the minutes know that Dr. Ituri is not here with us tonight. She is not feeling well, and so we have given her permission to stay home and take care. All right, with that, we will convene a closed session. All right, we will call the meeting back to order at 6:02. Report of action taken in closed session. Can I get a motion to approve case number 2526-05-SD?
I'll motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
I second.
Roll call?
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Brown,
Yes.
Trustee Nelson,
Aye.
Trustee Martin,
Aye.
Trustee Wing.
Yes. Next, I'd like to invite our students from John Reed to do the flag salute.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remove your hats and hoods.
Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have Thomas Page Academy. So I would like to invite Anna up and her team. Oh, she's already there. There we go.
I'm here.
All right, the floor is yours.
Okay. All right. Good evening, everybody. All right. So I'm going to start this presentation with introducing you to the newest tiger this year. Yeah, this is Mateo. He's about to be 6 months old on the 13th. So, and I just wanted to say while they are up here that I need to extend my sincerest gratitude to these two for holding down Thomas Page while I was out. They did a phenomenal job. So you will probably be hearing more from them because they need to they get all the recognition for how well this year has been going so far, and what our students have been doing. But I will introduce you to our tigers. Our current tigers are TK through 8. We have a co-taught TK class and a co-taught kinder class, and we have 417 students.
We're off and running, and last year when we were here, we were the new admin, and we were taking steps in a direction to establish new things at the school. And one of those new things was our PBIS initiatives, and so we worked hard with staff and students to establish Tiger Pride, wanting our students to leave Thomas Page with positivity, respect, inclusivity, dependability, and engagement. And so this year we've implemented that school-wide and developed lessons and series of rotations and completely encompassed Tiger Pride school-wide this year with our PBIS initiatives. We also began the Tiger Pride Ambassadors in partnership with Community Matters with the Safe School Ambassadors team. So we renamed it Tiger Pride Ambassadors, and those students have been working hard to demonstrate Tiger Pride across the campus as well. So we've worked really hard to establish that this year.
Last time we were here, we also spoke to you guys about how we were working collaboratively with the staff and teachers to create a new mission and vision statement. And I'm happy to report that we were able to vote and come to a new mission statement and vision statement. We created a community circle, and teachers were able to express in a safe space what they valued and what they wanted for in our students. And it was a great conversation, and it actually happened pretty quickly because our staff was all on the same page in what we wanted. So we wanted to make sure we shared those statements with you guys.
And in addition to that work, we wanted to build more community on our campus. So this year, we've been taking those next steps to connect with not only our school community, but the community at large with connecting with law enforcement. We've had presentations, fire department. We are inviting families to come to all of our school events and building capacity with more parent participation. It's a work in progress. And then partnering with the Redwood Empire Food Bank this year as well. Another initiative that we've taken steps towards on our campus is our AVID implementation. We made the decision at the end of the school year last year to become an AVID school, to focus on not only the district goal of literacy, but the site goal of literacy development for all of our students. And so using AVID as a vehicle for that, we made year one goals for this implementation, influencing literacy through writing, organization, and reading. And an AVID team that went to the Institute for AVID last year developed not only the professional development day that we introduced AVID strategies to the whole entire staff, but they also developed this implementation plan for year one, where we were focusing on literacy through the use of quick writes and organizational strategies implemented in our TK through 8th grade classrooms. We also have a 6th grade AVID elective class, and this year they have been frequenting our 1st grade classroom to teach and instruct AVID strategies to our 1st graders. So the professional learning and the implementation of AVID is not only with the staff, but also being incorporated with the students.
Some of the special events and communities, things that have happened on campus. Whenever we have an event, we like to involve our community health partners so that our community can have access to valuable resources. As Ms. Cavan did mention earlier, we had a safety on our campus. We invited fire and the police officers. We had the fire truck on campus, which our students absolutely loved. It was so much fun. So they got to see a fire truck, and they also got little badges when the police officers were there. We had Rotary join us. Our 3rd graders were able to get a new dictionary, so that was a lot of fun for them. We have the food bank is coming this year. This is our new thing for us. The 1st and 3rd Friday, we're able to serve our community and get them food items. Our 8th grade leadership team is the one that is staffing the food bank, and they are doing an amazing job at helping with the food bank. On Thursday, we have our walkathon is starting. So if you happen to be available and would love to volunteer and mark some laps, it's starting at 1 p.m. and we'd love to see you. Our students are excited. They have been fundraising for the last couple of weeks, so we have our walkathon coming up. And one thing that is not shown here is our 6th grade team has been fundraising for Water for South Sudan for the last couple of days in Ms. Pace's class. They've also been writing letters to the community. Some of you might have actually gotten some of those letters. And last year, they actually did raise enough money to establish a well in one of the areas in South Sudan that there was a well dedicated after Thomas Page. So they did an amazing job.
Okay, so some challenges are currently staffing and retention and community. So our plan for our staffing is to just continue to strengthen those relationships among us at TPA, and then as well as increasing our outreach with our community partners. You know, Cotati is a very small town, and there's a lot of people who want to be involved with Thomas Page. So I think we just need to get out there, introduce ourselves, welcome them onto the campus. Considering that Jen and I are both, this is our 2nd year, it feels like my 1st again, but I think if they can just put faces and names and welcome them back on campus, we'll have some stronger partnerships with them. And then as well as increasing parent partnerships and participation.
One of the other challenges we faced this year was academics and providing adequate interventions for our students. And so that has prompted us to come together as a guiding coalition, an MTSS team and a leadership team, and really pull us together as a site to create a plan for multi-tiered systems of support. So we're looking to take the knowledge we've gained this year from the work that we're piloting at our site with our Walk to Read program and other initiatives that middle school is taking to provide interventions. And we're developing implementation plans for next year to apply more equitable interventions for academics for our students. Our leadership team also applied for a Light Awards grant to focus on early literacy with foundational skills like phonemic awareness. That also included a plan for professional development. And then we are looking towards AVID Year 2 and strengthening the work that we established this year and how to build literacy through our work with AVID. So on our next AVID Professional Development Day, we'll be looking ahead of planning for Year 2 implementation to really strengthen our literacy program and interventions for students. Oh, and the last one, instructional schedules. We're a TK8 and our schedules are complicated, and we realize that. And with that transparency comes with the need for always refining and looking for better ways to streamline our instruction. And so looking ahead, we want to really look at where our instructional schedules might be interrupting instruction or not providing equitable access to interventions and things that might be getting in the way. So as a leadership team and PLTs, working on how we can really streamline our instructional schedules and really meet the needs of all of our students to increase that access to interventions and academics, and then working with our special education partners and services that support all of our students, really to make sure that instruction is more streamlined across the campus. Okay.
And that's what we have for
And
you
that's-
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any questions or comments for our
Yeah,
Thomas patient?
what does MTSS mean again? Master Teaching Schedule?
Sorry, MTSS stands for Multi-Tiered Systems of Support. It's a large umbrella that encompasses academics as well as behavior. So PBIS is part of that, and then academics are the other part.
Okay.
I just wanted to say I'm impressed that there's a well named after Thomas Page in Southern Sudan. That's awesome.
They did an amazing job. Their original goal was, I think, $1,000, and they raised $3,000.
That's great.
So, yeah.
And there's a bake sale tomorrow night
Yes.
at Oliver's
Yes.
Market, 3 to 7?
4 to 7.
4 to
Yeah.
7. I was close. I will be there
Yeah, thank you.
looking for some good stuff.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for coming tonight. We really appreciate it.
Yeah,
All
thank
right,
you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, we have Christy Corbett and John Reed Elementary.
Good evening. Can you guys hear me? I'm Christy Corbett, principal of John Reed Elementary School, and thank you for allowing me some time to share some of the amazing work happening at John Reed. I mentioned last year when I was presenting that we would be working on our new mission statement, and as you can see from our first slide, that work has come to fruition. Our new mission statement is John Reed is a community school that empowers every student to thrive, driven by teamwork, respect, diversity, and a passion for learning. This year, both our student and staff populations have grown as we added 3 SDC classes and an additional TK. So we now have 385 students at John Reed, and we are served students in TK through 5. We have 64 staff and 168 multilingual learners. Tonight, we're excited to share the impact of launching a school-wide Walk to Read program, which has helped to meet the diverse literacy needs of our students. Some of the teachers were initially apprehensive that we could do this, but as you'll see from our data tonight, we can. At this time, I'd like to introduce Kristen Bunner, our intervention teacher, to tell us a little bit more about Walk to Read.
Yes, so our Walk to Read is our language arts intervention program. And I remember many years ago when John Reed piloted Walk to Read for the district. Currently, our model's a little different. Now it's school-wide. So for 30 minutes, students move to different classrooms based on their skill. So we have instruction-based teaching rather than being in the same grade level. And so this is a picture of Miss Kudos. So she has 1st through 3rd grade students in her Walk to Read group. Some of our groups include letter names and sounds. We have vowel pair group, comprehensions, and we even have a writing group that we are partnering with SCO with to help guide us for that. After if all the students pass the phonics screener by 2nd grade, they get to come for a waffle party. So they're so excited about that. And here we have Jonathan, a 2nd grade student, who's so excited for that party to happen. And he said, I felt so happy that I passed the core phonics screener. Walk to Read helped me by teaching me real words and non-real words. And Juliet, a 4th grade student who's in a novel study group, said, in Walk to Read, when we read a book, we always learn new words that we have never heard of, and when we learn the definition of them. So I'm really proud to be part of our Walk to Read program.
And then I'd also like to introduce a student and a parent of my site, Lucy and Andrea.
Hello, thank you for having me. I've been running a small group of children with Walk to Read in the morning, and it has been extremely fulfilling. I really feel like that reading is the key to education, and being a part of somebody's literary journey is fantastic. I've seen the girls grow so much. Well, the students, I have all girls right now, but they've grown so much in just how they're speaking to me, and the way they're writing has been, I've seen the improvement over the weeks, so it's been wonderful. And Lucy?
Right for you, sweetie?
Here.
Got it?
How's it been for you, sweetheart?
It's been really nice to have a partner read with me and to sound out new words. And I just think Walk to Read is very educational.
Thank you so much.
I just wanted to share that Andrea comes to our campus every morning from 8:30 to 9, so she's just an amazing parent volunteer. All right, now I'm going to get into the data. So the first slide shows the growth in our student achievement from the beginning of the year to the end of the first trimester. And as you can see from this graph, every single grade increased their growth. But for me, the graph is hard to read. So I'm going to move to the next slide so that you can actually see it more clearly, the amount of growth that we had. So if you look particularly at our 5th grade, they increased from 33.9% of students meeting or exceeding the standard to 47.2% just in that initial window. I would have data from the end of the 2nd trimester, but that window just closed Friday. So I had to submit the slides prior to that, but hopefully I'll be able to share even more good news of the growth we've had from the beginning of the year all the way to the end of the 2nd trimester. As an interventionist, though, I also have to look at the core phonics screener, because if you can't read multisyllabic words, it's going to be very challenging to be a reader. So for me, I also wanted to present some of that data. As a district, we hope all students pass the core phonics screener by the end of 2nd grade. But as we know, we always have students who are continuing to build that work, and our Walk to Read program is helping to build that work. So I just wanted to share some of the good work we've done progressing students in 3rd through 5th grade. So we've had 3rd graders, we started the year with having 40 students that have now passed, and now we have 30 that had not passed. But as I mentioned, we just ended an assessment window, and I can share with you that now we only have 24 students that have not passed in the 3rd grade. In our fourth grade, we had 40 students pass so far this school year, and we now only have 6 students that have not passed. And in our fifth grade, we have 49 students who have passed this year, and we now have 5 students that have not passed. I would like to mention that many of the students that have not passed are our students that have IEPs, and that they're building those foundational skills within their IEP goals. And then I would like to introduce Kim Lloyd, our assistant principal and program specialist, otherwise known as the best partner I could ever have been given. And she's going to share our successes and challenges.
Good evening. One of the first successes that is so apparent when you walk on the campus of John Reed is the staff. I haven't seen a more professional, collaborative staff that has a deep commitment to academics and social emotional growth to students. I've worked on many school campuses, and I've never seen a staff morale as positive as John Reed. Everybody loves coming to work, and they love the students and each other. Another success is the seamless integration of our 3 new SDC classes. As Christy just mentioned, we brought on 3 special day classes onto our campus this year, and the staff and the community have really embraced those classes, and we've strengthened as a staff team inclusive practices, ensuring our students with disabilities are valued members of our school community. Next, as a success, is we have dedicated time for ELD, Walk to Read, and phonemic awareness. It's really important to us that when we're building our master schedule at John Reed, we prioritize this dedicated instructional time for our multilingual learners, our students that are still working on the LPAC test, as well as targeted literacy instruction and support for our students through using Haggerty phonics or phonemic awareness instruction, as well as the Walk to Read that you just heard about. Another strength is we have grade level PLTs. This is time every Wednesday. It's built into the schedule where our teachers are able to collaborate weekly as grade level teams. In those teams, they analyze student data, student learning, as well as how to focus on their instruction. Another important success for John Reed is our Community Schools Grant. Ms. Corbett has worked really hard on this, supporting this grant and making it flourish at John Reed. This grant allows us to expand wraparound services and family engagement opportunities and resources to support the whole child and community of John Reed. Some examples of resources that grant has brought to our campus is a full-time school counselor, partnering with CPI, as well as we have the food bank coming and do a food distribution twice a month. Another strength is our community partners. We have strong partnerships with community organizations that enhance student learning opportunities and provide additional supports for families. These partnerships include the Sonoma Environmental Education Collaborative. They bring in speakers as well as field trips for students so that they can get out into nature and learn how to be stewards of our environment. We also are partners with its elementary music program. That program brings in 3 assemblies per year where the students can have exposure. They were just here yesterday. Monday. My days are mixed up. They were there. It was beautiful. They had our whole multi-stage was packed with violin players, cello, and what got our student audience was that the conductor said, raise your hand if you're 8 or 9 to our audience, and kids raised their hands, and then raise your hand if you're 8 or 9 to our musicians, and they were raising their hands, and the students were just like, wow, they're 8 years old and they're playing this instrument. And another community partner is SCO. SCO has been important to our campus this year, providing writing instruction for our teachers as well in form of professional development, as well as supporting our multilingual learners by providing coaching to our teachers and coming in, demonstrating model lessons. And then the last partner there that's listed as Safe Routes to School. We work closely with them to do walk and roll to school. We also are coming up soon to do our bike rodeo with our 4th graders. So we're excited to see that. Shifting to the challenges. So these are the areas, when we look at John Reed, these are the areas we're looking at areas we need to grow in. The first one is our class sizes, especially in lower grades. Those larger class sizes make it challenging to provide the support that early learners need to build strong foundational skills. Another challenge is our parent participation. Increasing family engagement remains a priority for us at John Reed as we continue to work strengthening our partnerships and creating more opportunities for parents to participate in our school events and decision making. We have incredible family events that are well attended, but when it's time to have site council or our ELAC committee, we do struggle with recruiting parents to be members. One really exciting thing that Ms. Corbett has just applied for is a new grant that would help support us in that.
So as many of you know, that I'm always a solution seeker. So when we have challenges, I'm always looking for the solution. So I just recently, last Thursday, applied for the community engagement grant through the state. So we have the community schools grant. This would partner with that grant, and it would target just the work in regards to our engagement with our families. It would provide $140,000 over 2 years.
Another challenge we are finding ourselves to have at John Reed is not enough staff to help with behaviors. With the increasing complexity of student behavioral needs being highlighted through our day-to-day work at the school, the need for additional staffing and supports to ensure students receive timely interventions while maintaining a positive learning environment is something that we need to work on at John Reed. Attendance. This remains an ongoing focus for us at John Reed as we continue to work with families to address the barriers. Why aren't they able to bring their kids to school, and support school participation? And the last one is our need for more ELD assistance to target specific skills needed for reclassification. With this, additional targeted ELD support would help our multilingual learners develop the specific language skills needed to progress towards their reclassification and actually have full access to their grade level content.
Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you. That was fantastic. Thank you for also finding more money. That's always a plus. We appreciate that. So, Trustee
Thank
Johnson?
you. Yeah, I do have a question. So, looking at your data with the, 30 out of 40 students not passing the literacy or writing or reading, one of those tests. Anyway, does your, I know a lot of the kids use their Chromebooks and their, it helps them with their, their reading and writing through games. Is it multilingual? Are those Chromebooks, are the Google Classroom, are they multilingual?
Some programs they can access in their native language, yes.
Okay.
However, not all programs are accessible in that manner. The data is that 40 third graders have passed this year, and that we have a remaining 30.
40 passed. Oh,
40
I
have
thought it was 30
passed
out of
in
40
this school.
failed.
No, 40 have passed the school year. I'm sorry if I was unclear. And now that number has decreased to 24 that have not passed.
Thank you. Okay. It would be nice if I could read data. Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Great. Any other trustees? All right. Well, thank you very much, and thanks for coming out tonight.
Thank you very much.
All right. Next, we have reports and communications. So we will invite up our student board members. First, we will have Olivia with Rancho Cotati.
I'm Olivia Fountain, and I'm here to recap what has been going on in the past month-ish of March. So first to start off, I briefly touched on this at the last board meeting, but we finished our Unity Week We had presentations like African drumming, living voices, and then we had students from the JC who were from Japan to come speak to a couple of our classes, and we had 2 of our teachers did our presentation of their time in Senegal with the Peace Course that they do almost every year. And then we had our Unity Week Assembly on Friday, where students participated in a fashion show, danced many cultural dances, and we all got to watch that all happen, and it was yet another amazing assembly. We also had our second winter formal ever. People were able to dress up, dance, and had a lot of fun. We can't wait to see how better it gets as the years go on. Today, we had our executive board elections, where teachers took their second period classes, and everyone but the seniors were able to vote for the next year's executive board. Due to the fact that the seniors won't be here next year, we choose not to vote because just wouldn't be fair. And we get the results in about a week, give or take. We also had our winter sports finish up. Boys basketball had a historic run winning NBLs, getting second place in NCS, and making it to CIF NorCal semifinals. Girls basketball also had a historic season, making it to CIF NorCal regional championships and earning an NCS pennant. Girls soccer also had their first ever NBL first place and made it to NCS semifinals. Lastly, every single wrestler made it to NCS. Now we are on to our spring sports. With many options to choose from, all the sports have already had many practices, a couple having games and some meets. Today, the boys baseball team had a game against Newman, girls lacrosse had a game against Novato, and boys lacrosse are having a game against Justin Siena in about right now. Our BSU, our Black Student Union Club, attended the 4th annual Black Joy Fest at Sonoma State. Students enjoyed an inspiring day of workshops, a concert featuring La Russell, and amazing food by Smack and Soul Foods. We also had California Scholarship Federation Club had a dine and donate, raising lots of money for the club and have a ton more fundraisers that they're planning already. For our seniors, this year we're doing a Six Flags trip. The students have a permission slip that they have to get to by April 2nd, and then on May 29th is the trip, so we're all really, really excited for that this year. And then a couple of our student voices. Someone mentioned that although they are sad that winter sports are over, they cannot wait for some spring sports. Someone brought up the amount of ambulances that have been on our campus was a little bit concerning to them. However, there's great communication revolving that. Many emails have been sent out, so we're really excited that that was a thing. Another person talked about our most recent safety drill. They were very happy that it was one of the quickest ones we did, but we're a bit confused that in a real emergency, all of our phones are locked up in caddies. So it would be hard if all of a sudden a teacher was just like, go get your phones. And it's just a lot of people in panic to go get their phones. So they had that bit of a worry. But lastly, many people are ready for our spring break. Our upcoming things are that Thursday and Friday we have our finals, and everyone is ready for those. And on April 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, we have our exciting Mamma Mia musical, which many people have put in a lot of hard work, so we can't wait to see how amazing that goes. And that is it. Any questions?
Thank you. Any questions for Olivia?
Who won the basketball game last week? I didn't get to stay.
Not us.
We didn't? Oh, with
No,
Shasta
you mean
City.
the one that you went to?
Yeah, we did.
Oh,
we
that
did?
one. Yeah.
Okay, against
And then-
Shasta City.
the game after that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then we lost one.
We let the other team.
Yeah, we
Oh.
just thought we'd give it away, you know. Someone's got to lose.
Thank you.
Of course.
Yep.
Say that again?
I think so.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Thank you, Olivia.
Thank you.
Sophia?
Good evening. I'm Sophia Panaiva, and I'll be talking about what February and March have looked like at Tech High. Sorry. So on March 4th, ASB hosted the first big event of campaigning season, the election convention. This event centered around letting candidates closely interact with students and further emphasize their goals and reasons for running. The convention started off with guest speakers from the city council and state representatives and continued into the main section, a Q&A between the students and candidates. Throughout the Q&A, candidates shared more information about themselves and what they wanted to bring into the position they were running for. Finally, the candidates hosted a talent show. There were instruments, soccer dribbling, and even a stand-up comedy show. Overall, the election convention was a great success and allowed for a lot of connections to be made and information shared. From March 2nd to March 6th, Tech had our Election Spirit Week. On Monday, it was Twin Day. On Tuesday, Decades Day. On Wednesday, West Coast versus Wild West. On Thursday, Future Career Day. And finally, on Friday, we had our Nations Day, where students showcased their culture's attire. Overall, the participation within the Spirit Week was great, and students seemed to enjoy all the different themes ASB picked out. Following the Spirit Week, on March 6th, we had the election rally. The rally was mainly centered around speeches from all the different candidates and the final push of campaigning before voting. There were also games hosted for students, such as musical chairs and head shoulders cup. The rally did a great job at bringing more attention to the election and gave the candidates another chance to get their voices heard by the entire school all at once. At the rally, the students of the quarter were announced. For freshmen, it was Daniel Fajardo. For sophomores, it was Youssef Corey. For juniors, Rafael Anasco. And for seniors, Ella Heaton. These students embody the Tech High spirit through their hard work and dedication and are exemplary both within and outside the classroom. They are always on their best game, and ASB is honored to be able to appreciate their hard work through this award. On March 7th, the Tech High Medical Club volunteered at the North Bay Science Discovery event on the Santa Rosa Fairgrounds. They presented a station about natural selection, in which they brought in different tools that the kids used as beaks in order to test which finch would survive in what environment. There was also a second station about animal diets, where kids took on the challenge of matching a meal to an animal. A lot of effort was put into planning and executing this event, and it was great to see our club give back to the community in such a STEM-based way. And today, as the final event of campaigning season, the candidates set up campaign booths in the quad at lunch. These booths are used to create more student-candidate interaction and give candidates a chance to further promote their campaign. A lot of treats and food was given out. Me personally, I set up a sundae bar with a bunch of different toppings, and other candidates set up games to play with the students, gave out cookies, and one candidate gave out apple cider and macarons, which I thought was very yummy. It was a really fun experience and was the perfect way to end off campaigning season. So here are some of our upcoming events. With campaigning season coming to a close today, election results are soon to follow. This Thursday, candidates will be finding out the results, and on Friday, it will be announced to the school. It's been a really exciting experience campaigning, and I'm sure everyone's eager to find out what. And of course, next week is spring break. To say students are excited is an understatement. This break is very needed, as the past few months have been quite busy with campaigning. I've heard about a lot of exciting plans that students have, and spirits about the break are definitely up. And that's all I have today. Thank you.
Thank you. What are you running for, Sophia?
ASB president.
Oh, very cool.
Very exciting.
Is that a trend? You do school board member your junior year and then president your senior year?
It seems like it.
All right. Any other questions for Sophia? All right. Thank you. All right. Next we have Kaylee. And this is Kaylee's last presentation with us because she is graduating this week. So congratulations.
Good afternoon. I'll be representing El Camino and talking about what our last month and half of this month has looked like. Our school took its first field trip of the year to the California Academy of Sciences in San Francisco, where about 30 or more students attended. During the field trip, we had the chance to explore many different exhibits, learn about science and nature, and see a variety of animals up close. Students were able to walk through the aquarium, observe wildlife, and experience hands-on learning outside of the classroom. It was a fun and memorable day for everyone, and it gave us the opportunity to learn new things while spending time together as a school and a community. What we are learning in the classrooms. In our classes, we have been focusing on a variety of subjects that help us learn about the world and ourselves. In Mr. Slade's class, we have been studying government and learning about different system structures. Work. In Mr. Berg's class, we have been exploring music appreciation while also connecting it to our English studies. In Mr. Yarbrough's class, we have been focusing on cultures and doing a deeper dive into what culture means, including reflecting on our own individual cultures and experiences. For Teacher Spotlight, I wanted to recognize Mr. Yarbrough. Mr. Yarbrough has been a part of the El Camino community for 8 years and has made a lasting impact on our school and community. His dedication to his students and the time he puts into helping everyone succeed does not go unnoticed. He is always encouraging, supportive, and brings a positive attitude to the classroom every day. Mr. Yarbrough continues to inspire students through his commitment, guidance, and the strong relationships he builds with everyone at our school. Students from the Sonoma State University visited our school as a part of their school and society class. They gave a presentation and they had a discussion with our students about what works and what doesn't in traditional high schools. During the conversation, many El Camino students shared that small class sizes and integrated subjects and strong relationships with our small school community are some of the things that help us succeed the most. This Friday, Layla Villas, Angelina Franco Morales, Jackie Castro Rivas, Feyu Vargas, and myself included will be graduating. Each of them has put in a lot of effort and dedication to reach this milestone. Over time, they have grown, stayed focused, and continued working towards finishing school. Graduation is an important accomplishment, and it reflects the commitment and the commitment they showed to get to this point. Thank you.
Congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
Exciting. Thank you. All right. Next, we have trustee reports on activities. Trustee Johnson?
No report since last board meeting.
Trustee Brown?
So interesting, last closed session, we had a little music piped in, and you guys were giving me a bad time about my music repertoire. So then we went to the basketball game, and then I knew some of the other songs. And then I looked at the district, and well, first of all, congratulations to both the boys and girls basketball team. They're outstanding this year. So I went to Saturday night's game, and that was, it was tough. There's some good players out there. One of the players from San Marin looked like he should have been on the Warriors. It's like, wow, where's that talent? I mean, we have a lot of talent too, but anyway. So just a fun thing. They have walk-up music now for players type of thing. So I was saying, well, the district doesn't have walk-up songs, and Left doesn't have a walk-up song, so I'm going to adopt my own walk-up song. I'm going to steal this from MC Hammer, but I'm going to say you can't touch this. Because this district is outstanding, so you just can't touch this. So that's my walk-up song from now on, okay? So I expect them up there to play that. As long as we don't get in trouble with a copyright, and that kind of stuff. So
very good.
Anyway, just a little humor, thanks.
Right. Sounds good. Trustee Nelson?
I think that'll be permissible as long as he wears his MC Hammer pants.
Yeah.
We did have a fruitful conversation on Sunday, but that's the only other report since last Tuesday.
All right. Trustee Martin?
Yeah, I had the great pleasure of participating in Shayla Pace's letter writing program with the students at Thomas Page, and was impressed with the letter that I received and how well written it is, and just how neat that program is continuing year after year.
Great. Thank you. So at last week's board meeting, I said that I would talk about the SCO trustee committee that they are forming. So I guess a week and a half ago, I went to the SCO meeting, and then on Friday, I actually had the opportunity to meet with Dr. Carter about a handful of things, but the SCO group came up. Since then, I've also talked to Lisa, wherever she went. She's probably hiding behind the thing. So SCO is going through with creating their trustee group. There is a really strong desire from some people to make it more of an education-based group. And while I think education is fantastic and really does need to happen, especially for a lot of the new trustees, I told them that I myself and our board would be really interested more in a political action committee or a legislation committee. So the next step that they are doing is they have to create bylaws for this group. So they are creating bylaws for this group. And I expressed to Dr. Carter on Friday that I really, really want there to be, that this group have two kind of pillars, an education pillar and a legislation action pillar, and that I would be willing to help with that. And then I actually volunteered Lisa as well to Dr. Carter. And then we've also talked ourselves that if for some reason that does not happen, that we will just do something ourselves. We'll just be rogue warriors and go out there and figure out how to get things done, because we all know that we don't have enough money, and I know that we can't change it as one people, but I feel like we absolutely have to start saying things. There are California, CTA has a California Legislation Action Committee, CSBA does, and obviously California itself has its own education challenges, but Sonoma County is very unique in a lot of ways. We're not Marin County, we're not the Bay Area, we're not some of these other districts. So, so that's the update. They have, I think they're meeting again. They decided that May and June might be too crazy, so I think they're meeting again at the end of April, and that's when these bylaws are supposed to come up. But my hope is that by next school year, at the beginning of the school year, at the very least, if there's not an official committee, that the CRPUSD board can just start our letter writing campaign. And if SCO doesn't do something, which may or may not happen, then we'll just start our own, and the people who want to join us can join us, and away we go. So that is that update. So, and if anyone out there in YouTube land would like to join us, please let me know, and you can join us. There's no superintendent report, so next we have Roanoke Park Otati Educators Association, Lisa Bauman.
Thank you, Michelle. Good evening, everyone. I didn't prepare anything formal tonight. It's been a little bit of a week, as I'm sure you all know, and a little bit of an emotional roller coaster, but I can say with confidence that in RIPSIA, we are ecstatic over the decision for that Maite is staying with us, and are grateful to all of you for reaching out to her and convincing her that this is the place that she needs to be, because we fully feel that this is the place that she needs to be, that we've come so far in the last, not even 3 years total yet, and that, we, as John is going to show you, we've made a lot of progress on the budget with the reductions that we voted for, but we're not out of the woods, and I can't imagine trying to get through this without her. And so we are just so relieved and so grateful that we can continue our work together and our partnership together, and I can't wait to see where it all ends up. And that's really all I have to say. So thank you. Thank you again. We're glad that you recognized her value as we do, and that you went that extra mile to really make things work. So thanks.
Thanks, Lisa.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we have the California Schools Employees Association, CSEA. Luigi will be coming up. There he is. Hi. Welcome to the podium, Luigi, and congratulations on your new role. This is very exciting.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for having me. My name is Luigi Cardenas Gonzalez, and as of March 5th, I am the new president of Chapter 645 of the California School Employees Association. Our union represents the workforce that handles food service, clerical, technical, custodial, facilities, and maintenance. First of all, I would like to take a moment to thank my predecessor, John Geck, for his years of service. We are grateful, I specifically am grateful for his tutelage in the leadership role in the union, and we wish him all the best in the future endeavors. We've been busy since our last board report. We have finished bargaining for the year. This year, just like the last, we engaged in the interest-based bargaining process, which we believe fosters a cooperative and collaborative environment. And as a result of these negotiations, CSEA members have agreed to take 2 furlough days and an increase to employee contributions to our dental, vision, and life insurance. Additionally, we will be losing the equivalent of 3 FTE positions from CSEA that were previously identified prior to bargaining. While these are difficult times, we are grateful for the working relationships we have fostered these past couple of years and look forward to our continued partnership. That's all. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Luigi. All right. Next up, we have Service Employees International Union, SEIU, Brian Wigmore. With special guests, possibly. I don't know.
Hello.
Yep, with some special guests.
Yeah, and so, hello, we do this once a year, so, so I am president of SEIU, Brian Wigmore.
And I'm Kara Denson, I'm the vice president of SCIU.
So thank you for having us tonight. We wanted to give our chapter update. We've continued our LAMP meetings throughout the school year with the district, management, and our other labor partners to continue improving communication and transparency. We are currently preparing for our rally at the Luau, where both high school bands are planning to perform for the district employees on Wednesday, May 6th. We've also had very successful IBB sessions, which is our interest-based bargaining with the district. We recently signed 2 MOUs with the district. The first will have our members taking a day-and-a-half furlough for the 2026-2027 school year. This will help to reduce the budget deficit. The second MOU is for the 2026 extended school year and Summer Enrichment Academy credit recovery. We are especially glad to be able to talk tonight in light of the announcement that our superintendent will be staying. We'd like to thank the board for helping to make that happen, so thank you so much. We wouldn't have our LAMP committee and we wouldn't have our IBB, at least I don't feel like, if it wasn't for the board and the superintendent and our labor partners, and it's really made a giant difference in our communication with staff, parents, and the community. So we thank you all for that. We'd like to especially thank the superintendent because we feel like the culture has shifted with Maite here. And so she has been a positive influence and a good moral compass for our staff and for our community. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. There is no receipt of official correspondence. No public comment. So next we'll move to the consent agenda, and I have an update for the board. So I talked to legal counsel about other things this week, but one of the things that I double checked was the consent agenda and how if a trustee has a question about anything on it, if we get to this point, can they pull it? And they actually can. So we don't have to, even though the agenda has been approved, if we get to the consent agenda and I have a question about these overnight field trips, in an ideal world, I would tell the board ahead of time so that everybody just knows. But if you get there and something comes up or something unexpected happens, we can pull it, approve the consent agenda with that pulled, and then talk about that individually. So I just want to let the board know that we have been told.
A little
about
clarity. So if I'm going to ask a question about it, and I didn't change the agenda, and we get to the consent agenda, do you want me to pull that item to ask the question about it and vote separately? Is that what you're suggesting?
I think that we should still do it, that we pull it in the beginning of the agenda.
Right, but you can pull it.
But we
later on.
can pull it if something
But
comes up.
so if I want to ask questions, we should still pull it, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then vote on it separately?
Yes.
Okay.
So, but if something were to come up, and their example was, if someone starts making public comment on this consent agenda, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, well, wait a second, we need to talk more about this because I didn't know that. It still gives us that opportunity to pull it and say, okay, I want to talk about these overnight field trips. I didn't know they were going to Vegas or something
But
like
it needs
that.
to be pulled to be discussed.
Yeah, it needs to be pulled.
Right.
Everything Jamal's going to do the Vegas trip, he just said. No. You know, but it needs to be pulled, everything else voted on, and then we talk about the one that was pulled and vote on it individually.
So, okay, yeah, because remember the last one, I had a question, and we said it was all in a package deal, right? And so
Right,
the
'cause
difference is now that we can pull it, we'll approve everything else, and then we'll pull that one back and talk about it, and then vote on that one specific item.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
And if you know ahead of time, if you're reading the board agenda over the weekend and you know you have a question about something, it's always best to email the superintendent so she can get the answers, because sometimes we don't all know everything. But something might come up in the middle of the meeting, and so we can if we need to. Yep. All right. So with that being said, is there any questions or discussions about item 8A through R? If not, can I get a motion to approve 8A through R?
All motion to approve?
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next, we have Educational Services, acknowledgement of the CalPADS report certification. Dr. Fields.
Thank you. Every year we have to certify our data, and this is a proof that we did that, and it's an email coming back from the CD saying that that has been completed.
Great. Any questions or anything about it? Okay, then, so acknowledged. We don't vote on that, right? No. All right, acknowledged. Right, next we have item 10, Personal Services, approval of school calendars for the 26-27 school year.
Good evening, trustees. Tonight we are seeking your approval for the 2026-27 instructional calendar. A committee of staff have reviewed and prepared the proposed instructional calendar, taking into consideration feedback from our multiple labor partner groups, as well as site and district administration. The calendar, if approved, will allow us to meet all required instructional minutes. It reflects the designated holidays, one professional development day. It includes all high school graduation dates and elementary minimum days for conferences. We are bringing this forward to the board for approval this evening, and I'm happy to answer any questions about it if you have them.
Are there any questions about the calendar?
One question, just clarity, Tech High will graduate on Thursday and Rancho will be Friday?
That is correct.
Okay. And then El Camino will be Wednesday?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Correct.
Great. All right. Any other questions? Can I get a motion to approve the school calendars for the 26-27 school year?
All motion?
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next, we have the approval of the job description for Director of Ed Services.
All right, tonight we're seeking approval for a new job description for a Director of Education Services. This position would be funded by one-time money and would be classified as temporary for the coming school year. This position has been reviewed by administration and aligns with the operational needs of the district and the department. And we're seeking your approval tonight.
Great. Any questions or discussion about this? All right, can I get a motion to approve the job? Oh,
I did have one question.
Yeah.
I'm looking through here the requirements. Does it say in here it's temporary one?
it says that the positional, under fiscal implications, you got to get out of the job.
No. I'm in the actual, what's going to be posted is the Director of Ed Services job
No, it's not included in the job description itself. It would be included if and when we post the position. It would say that and would be very clear on the contract for the employee. But ultimately, if at some point we're in a different fiscal position than we are right now, this position could potentially be funded by ongoing money. But for the coming school year, it would be funded with one-time money.
Great, thanks. All right, can I get a motion to approve the job description of Director of Ed Services?
All motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Approval of revised certificated management salary schedule.
So along with the newly developed job description is a corresponding updated salary schedule. The salary placement reflects the responsibilities of the role and is consistent with our existing compensation structure included with other director level positions.
Great. Any questions? All right, can I get a motion to approve the revised certificated management salary schedule?
All motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right, next, business and operations, approval of transportation plan.
As a condition of receiving funding for transportation services, local educational agencies shall develop a plan describing the transportation services. This plan is presented and adopted by the board on or before April 1st every year. And the plan for your approval is similar to the plan we've had before, sans the funding is updated for the current year. And we make it a 3-year plan, even though we adopt a plan, similar plan every year for 3 years, just to cover kind of audit purposes, cover us. So if there's any questions, I'm glad to answer them. Otherwise,
I have one question, and it doesn't need to be answered today, but I'd be interested in knowing how many of our district students take us up on the bus pass.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we can get that.
That would just be for Thomas Page, right?
Pardon?
That's just for Thomas Page, right?
I think we offer to buy bus passes for our homeless and foster youth. Is that what you're referring to?
The ELO program, expanded.
Oh, that
Oh,
too.
that one,
program.
okay.
It looks like we offer it to a lot, so
Yeah.
I'm just wondering how many
Sure.
people.
We can get that data.
Okay, great. All right. Can I get a motion to approve the transportation plan?
All motion?
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Yeah. Yep. All right. We are going to take a 5-minute break. We'll be back at 7:10. Next up, fiscal update and planning.
So the enrollment report as of February saw us less 8 students total. We had 22 enter the district, 8 from out of county, 9 from within the county, and 5 other. We had 30 exit the district, 6 went to private charter or homeschool, 9 went out of county, 8 went to schools within the county, and we had 7 early grads, which is good.
Thank you.
Any questions?
All right, what we've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
Second interim report. Take it away, John.
Good evening, trustees and student trustees and staff and audience. Thanks for sticking around. This is probably the most exciting thing you'll hear tonight. Can't touch this, yeah. The second interim report is the second of 2 interim reports for the board. Ed Code requires the board certify the district's ability to meet its financial obligations. And, you know, the process by which this comes about is that we're constantly updating the district budget for changes in revenues and expenditures, as you'll see, and using the most current information available to update the multi-year projection. The report then goes to SCO, and we receive a letter from SCO either approving or disapproving the budget revision. So just some slides I'd like to include in the process where we're just before April, where the statutory COLA will be recalculated if needed, and then we'll get governors may revise in May. That's what's upcoming from the state budget process. So the budget planning factors for this year and next, or the next 2, you'll notice, hopefully you'll notice that COLA-wise, we did drop from 3-point-something% to 2.41. I have some more data around that. And the COLA for 27-28 was reduced as well. And again, a 1% change in COLA is about $800,000 in funding for the district. District enrollment, and ADA was reduced by a little bit. I'll go over a little bit more detail on that. But based on our P1 attendance report, we were off a little bit on each category or grade span of ADA, and I'll point that out, but that reduced some of our revenue that I even reported on last month based on that information. And then all the rest of the stuff is pretty normal. So there are no changes anyway. So again, you know, we go on these roller coaster rides with our COLA timeline wise. At the enacted budget for 24-25 for this year, as an example, we started at 2.93% of COLA, and it went down to 2.3. I think we've talked about that. It was as high as 3.52% for 26-27, and that was during the 25-26 governor's proposal of June last year, and it is now down to 2.41%. I mean, you know, these are just the kind of things that I don't have any control over. 1, 2, it's what changes our report to report, and this report was no different because both 26-27 and 27-28 were reduced, as you can see on the slide. So, again, things that have changed, we're constantly adjusting salaries and benefits to reflect actual projected costs, and the many things that contribute to that. We have people going on leaves, quitting or replacing position, we're not necessarily changing, or we're not necessarily changing or losing positions or changing the number of positions. It's people within those positions throughout the year constantly change. The PERS rates were adjusted. I don't know if you noticed that a couple slides ago, but we're seeing we potentially might see a reduction in PERS rates for 26, 27, and then a slight uptick again in the year after. Again, these are projections, not predictions, if you will. And the contributions were to SPED and maintenance and operations were adjusted to actual projected costs. So, as always, we're using the Department of Finance COLA funding assumptions. Step and column cost increases. The cost of everyone moving up a step that is going to move a step is about 1.5% annually. We have about a 10-year average of 4% increase to health and welfare. We've seen some higher rates recently, but I'm going to go with the 10% for now until we know what that looks like. And then as noted earlier, the projected funded ADAs for the next 3 years, this year and the 2 out years. So I know this is small, this chart, but it's in your book, and it might look better on paper, but you could see the ADA, the current ADA for each grade span and how much money we're getting per grade span. All of which equates to about $78.8 million. That is down from what we were projecting at first interim by about 366, even lower than what it was. And I hope I'm wrong on that, but given the historic change between P1 and P2, I think we're going to be in about that range. So as the breakdown of the revenues, again, you see the $78.8 million in LCFF revenue under the unrestricted column there, about $85 million in unrestricted funding revenue, and almost $107 million combined. We spend about $66 million in the unrestricted budget and $117.5 million total. And don't forget, the 66 doesn't include the transfer we make of about $24 million to the restricted budget for maintenance and operations and special ed. So, again, the difference, we were projecting a $5.1 million deficit this year. The changes in revenue is about $280,000 since I reported that $5.1 million deficit. And we improved our expenditures, which I talked a little bit about last month, about $461,000. So we're looking at, on paper, a deficit of $4.9 million in the current year. And that is, that's a little bit improved from what it was. I expect, if we're within 1% of all the expenditures that we spend, that'll be a little less than 4.9 by the end of the year, and we're keeping an eye on that. This is just a breakdown of the contributions that the unrestricted budget makes to the restricted budget, about $24 million. And if you can remember back to my first year, when the question, what we were transferring from, the same transfer was about $14 million. So crazy how much our expenditures have gone up. So this is what our general fund looks like in the current year. I think we're projecting this deficit spend total between both unrestricted and restricted about 10 million. That's a little bit improved based on the changes that I talked about earlier, and we have about the 2% reserve at this point on paper. And our multi-year projection, after working with all our bargaining groups and applying all the projected savings from the budget cuts that everyone's approved and you've approved, next year looks better. Again, that's on paper, and there are a lot of things that there are a lot of factors that we don't know yet. COLA being one of them, enrollment in ADA being another one, the big one, and this is using the most current information available, right? I have another scenario I'm going to present in a second. So the reserve percentage, we're close to the 3% by the third year. I mean, start rounding up, maybe they'll give us a break and say we have 3%, I don't know. This is what it looks like if it comes to fruition that the 77 students that that enter our district from Santa Rosa, we have 77 students. Without these students, it's about $1 million each year that we would lose. So this would be a worst case scenario. And just for your information, we have about 14 students that go from our district to Santa Rosa. I don't know if we can stop that from happening, or want to. But this is what it looks like. So we would deficit spend again about $700,000 in 26-27 and almost $500,000 in 27-28 if that were to come to fruition, and we would have to look for more budget reductions. Not fun. So again, the financial concerns are similar every time. Obviously, enrollment in ADA matter a tremendous amount, especially without Santa Rosa City School enrollment. COLA, as I keep mentioning, and stirs and purrs rates is a continued concern. Technology, increases in the general cost of doing business. We're seeing increased costs all across the board. Containing special ed costs. There are some obvious risks with the rising costs of all those things. And future collective bargaining, we value our relationships with our bargaining units, and I continue to hope to have continued success and collaborative working relationships with all of them as we manage our way through these kind of tough times. So in closing, several uncertainties could negatively impact the district's budget in future years, including the availability of one-time funding, the cost of living adjustment or COLA for 26-27 and beyond. None of those are set in stone, obviously. And enrollment and trends related to Santa Rosa City Schools attending CRP-USD. So given that, even though we're probably right on the edge of being positive on paper, I'd like to self-certify us as qualified because there are a lot of unknowns, and that's a conservative approach, and it may require some more work on our part, but I think we're monitoring our budget closely, and this is the right thing to do. Any question?
I have a couple, but I think we'll just go down the row, and then maybe your question will get answered by the time it gets to you. Trustee Johnson? Yeah, John, that's too bad that we can't, count on our one-time funding from Measure 98 or Proposition 98. Because everybody's saying, oh, yeah, it's going to be a big chunk of change, but we can't even count on it. That's too bad. And that, I think when we go look at putting pressure on the government, when you do legislative action, I would really like to see some, changes in our constitution so that they will give our money that we voted 4 years ago. So thanks for you shuffling around all this mess.
Great. Trustee Brown?
So we know the unknowns, but do we have calendar roughly dates of when some of the unknowns will be known to us? For example, we're in the middle of recruiting students right now, right? Enrollment. Are we done with that for next year? Close. So when we're done, that's a crucial number. So I'd like to hear that. And then who knows what federal's going to do? They've been threatening and threatening and threatening, and I look here with $3 million, so hopefully that doesn't go away. And any other, as time goes forward, some of those unknowns become knowns, and so just to keep us advised when we hit those milestones and surprises or whatever, I'd appreciate it. I realize you do this report so many times a year, but if there's any good news, I'd be more than happy to hear that.
I wish. Hope's not a strategy, but I think based on the fact that we're self-certifying qualified, that I'll have to do another report to you before the adopted budget. Maybe I'll just do it anyway, and that'll just be another, point in time with more information or more updated information that we have. I don't know when we're going to know about Santa Rosa, if that's a real thing, or, I've heard of districts like West County that of their 400 students, 200 of them come from Santa Rosa. So, 77 is a lot, and it's $1 million, but, there are other districts that would hurt more from that proposal, if you will, than others. So, but I'll keep you posted as much as I can.
I'm in the agreement that the second interim certification should be qualified rather than giving it a slightly rosier upgrade. This 3.1% only in the third year hitting that reserve, that doesn't leave much leeway for anything. And then comparing it to this one with the Santa Rosa schools with a 1.1%, that would definitely, we would not be able to be pass muster with that one. So thank you, John.
My question's on 4, titled Components of Funding Factors. You have listed lottery per ADA, unrestricted and restricted. Would you remind me how that funding works?
Yeah. So a lot of it is dependent on how many lottery tickets or how much lottery is sold throughout the year, right? That's why we don't have a firm number on what that is. And you can see the 24-25 number that we do know, 211 per ADA at the time, was due to, I think I've said this before, but they sold a bunch of tickets because the lottery jackpot was in several of the games were really high, right? And that makes more people buy buy tickets or whatever. But we'll get whatever amount that is determined multiplied by our annual ADA for that year, and then they adjust accordingly in the subsequent year. So there's money that passes back and forth, but we're, from an unrestricted standpoint, we're only getting about 1.4 million or something. It's not, it's great, and we would have many problems without it, but I don't think it's really solving the problems that they thought it would.
No, it's not going to solve a problem. I was just curious how they project that it's going to go down the next 3 years to 190.
That's about the rate that we're almost guaranteed. It's hard to guarantee anything, but it's about what it's historically been. And then if it's much higher or lower than that, it means that they didn't sell, they didn't bring in as much money as they did previously.
Thank you.
Sure.
So on the last part, where it's the multi-year projection, Oh, not with the students excluded. I don't like that slide.
Yeah,
The
right.
regular one.
Yeah.
For 26, 27, and 27, 28, and I know this isn't the whole budget, it's just a very high roll up. Do you have our health and welfare at the same as what it is now? Like, did you adjust it for the
Oh, no,
years
I
going-
adjusted for the
Okay,
4% increase is,
But like the number of people taking it? 'cause
no, no. Well, I adjusted, that's part of the adjustment
Okay.
when we reduce positions, so I took
Okay.
that share, or that assumption
Yeah,
with
okay.
it, you know.
Cool. And then just walk me through, I agree that it is the conservative thing to do to qualify this as a second, or to certify this as qualified. But that's our second qualified in a row, right? And we will probably maybe have to be qualified next time, potentially as well, right?
We'll see. I mean, you know, I only build these things with the information
Right.
that I know. I know I say that all the time, but that might be
So
likely.
the clock is
it-
ticking on us, right?
No, qualified is not negative.
Okay.
Negative is the worst.
But can
We can, I mean, I think this shows we have the cash to make all our payrolls and
Mhm.
et cetera. We don't quite have 3% reserve, but
Okay, so qualified means extra reports for you and
What-
extra reporting, right? Like if we're qualified, SCO requires extra reports from us. And
yeah, qualified, the definition of qualified means that you can pay for your bills for sure in the current year and potentially not for the next two.
Okay.
Negative means you can't pay your bills in any of the years.
Okay.
Positive means that you maintain a 3% throughout. So, you know, like I said, we're kind of on the border, kind of on the cusp. I feel pretty good about it. I mean, again, without the work that we all did together with our bargaining units, we wouldn't be where we are right now. So I'm thankful for that. And hopefully it's enough, but we'll see as more information comes available.
Okay, so we aren't at the risk of FitMat coming in
No,
and hanging out with
no.
us next year.
I think
Okay.
I think SCO would agree.
All right, I'm
Qualified
sure
does
they're
not mean
lovely
that, yeah.
people, but
Yeah.
I'm good. They can help other districts that need it more.
True.
Okay, any other questions from John about anything? All right. Technically no, but what's up, Lisa?
Yes. It's a combination of special ed and maintenance, but the breakdown was about 22 and 2 right here. Yeah. I know.
All right. Any other questions from the board? All right, can I get a motion to approve the second interim report as qualified?
I'll move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next is a public disclosure and ratification of CSEA MOU budget reductions for the 26-27 school year.
Yes, so as Luigi spoke to in his report, in response to our current fiscal challenges, the district, through interest-based bargaining, worked collaboratively with the California School Employees Association to reach a consensus for this MOU. The MOU outlines negotiated adjustments to help us with necessary budget reductions while honoring our commitment to our classified staff. Included in this MOU are 2 furlough days and a 10% increase in staff contribution to vision, dental, and life insurance. The MOU has been approved by the larger CSEA organization as well as ratified by our members within the district, and we are asking the board to give final approval of this MOU this evening. And let me know if you have any questions.
Any questions? All right, can I get a motion to approve the public disclosure and ratification of CSEA MOU budget reductions for the 26-27 school year?
I move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next is the public disclosure and ratification of the 25 RIPSIA Extended School Year Credit Recovery and Summer Enrichment Academy MOUs.
I just realized that should have said 26. My apologies on that. The final item this evening is an MOU that we have collaborated with RIPSIA regarding the working conditions for our summer programs, our Summer Enrichment Academy Extended School Year and Credit Recovery. This MOU addresses the terms and conditions under which certificated staff will be employed during the summer program operations and outlines staffing commitments, compensation, and the scheduling expectations for the summer. This agreement was reached collaboratively with RIPSIA and is being brought forward to the board for ratification.
And just so the board knows, even though it has the wrong 25 RIPSIA extended, everything inside of that agenda item says 26, so we are still fine to approve it tonight if it goes through. All right. Any questions? I actually have one question. When do we start enrolling for the C program? Thank you. March 20th for those of you
Thank
that
you,
didn't
Elena.
hear. Great. Can I get a motion to approve the public disclosure and ratification of the 2026 RIPSIA Extended School Year Credit Recovery and Summer Enrichment Academy?
All motion to approve.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next is the approval of Resolution 2026-19, authorizing the issuance and sale of the 2026 general obligation refunding bonds in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $75 million to refinance outstanding bonds of the district and approving related documents and actions.
So the resolution before the board is an opportunity to issue up to $75 million in GO refunding bonds to refinance various bonds from the 2014 and 2016 elections for savings. With your approval, we have an opportunity to save taxpayers in this community almost anywhere between $4 and $9 million. And if there are any questions, I'll gladly answer them.
I know you've explained bonds to me like 1,000 times, but for some reason it does not stick in my brain. We aren't, as a district, getting any more money. We're just
No.
doing something nice for our community.
Yes.
And then, so on my property tax bill, how do we let the community know that we did something nice?
Press release.
And that's it, like, okay.
Yeah, and you'll see it.
But it's not like, there's no insert that says, congratulations, CRPSD saved you money.
I wish.
Okay, it just is
Your
different
your
from
tax
last year.
bill will reflect a lower amount.
Yeah. Okay.
And potentially, depending on which bonds they do refinance, it could cut off a couple of years
Yeah, that's what,
off the end of the 2014 bond
Right.
repayment.
cool. All right. Any other questions? All right, can I get a motion to approve 12E?
I move.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Oh, that's a roll call.
Resolution. We
It's
blew
a
it.
roll call. I
We
know.
blew it.
I know.
I
So
wasn't paying attention.
go for it. So we already had a first and a second.
Trustee Johnson,
Yes.
Trustee Brown.
Yes.
Trustee Nelson,
Aye.
Trustee Martin,
Aye.
Trustee Wing.
Yes. Next is vote for the representative to CSBA's delegate assembly.
We need delegates that'll serve 2-year term. There was no nomination, so you get to vote if put one person on the ballot.
But we don't have to if we don't want to, right?
You don't have to if you don't want.
Does anyone want to volunteer to be on the delegate assembly for 2 years? All in
Take
favor?
2 steps forward.
Anyone? Anyone? Not it? Okay. So then, do we just do nothing or?
We do nothing.
Okay. Can I get a motion to not put anyone on the ballot for the representative to CSBA's delegate assembly?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Okay, next are first readings of board policies and administrative regulations. Are there any questions of that?
I have a question on 12G.
12G, yeah, open,
First
closed
reading
campus.
of the open and closed campus. So
Mhm.
is that to be interpreted that even with an open campus at lunch, students cannot leave at any other time other than the designated lunch hour?
No, I don't think they're supposed to, are they?
It says without permission, so that if they have a free period, then they are allowed to leave.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? All right, then we will go to acceptance of gifts and donations to schools and district. I can do it.
Oh.
Anyone? You got it?
Oh, sure.
Go for it.
This is like, but I don't want to.
No, no, I want you to do this. I want you.
So we couldn't do it without our partners, and we have some very generous folks out there in the world. We had a monetary gift to Rancho Cotati High School from the Rancho Cotati High School Athletic Boosters in the amount of $8,566.32. We had a monetary gift to TMS from the T&K Mobile, and that was of $50. TMS also got a monetary donation from a shade darker window tint of $50. And TMS got a monetary donation from Ace Hardware of Marin for $50. So for a grand total of $8,716.32. Thank you to our community.
Awesome. Can I get a motion to approve the acceptance of gifts and donations?
I'll motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
I second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Future business and agenda items. Trustee Johnson?
None.
Trustee Brown?
Pass.
Nelson?
No.
Martin?
Pass.
School board or student trustees? All right, with that, we will adjourn the meeting at 7:42. Thank you.